If you set your watch by this show, you will not have a good watch. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the WDMA, and here we are today, and we're going to be talking about direct mail again. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. But I found a really cute little conversation on a sailing channel that I follow, and it's two 20-year-olds, 20, 21, something in there, and they're touring a market in Barcelona, and they come across an old typewriter, and the young woman says, "I have one like this at home." And the young man asks, what in the world would she want something like that for? And so here's the clip. Here we go.
Okay, but what are you going to use it for, even if you were to get it?
I'm actually not kidding. I write letters to my
With a typewriter?
Yeah.
That's sick.
And I write little recipe cards with it too.
Wouldn't it be easier to use like Microsoft Word and then email it?
First of all, who uses Microsoft Word anymore?
Or like an emailing application, something.
There's something a little extra sweet whenever it's typewritten and whenever you send it in snail mail. Word to the wise.
Let us know if I'm crazy.
Comment down below if it's a little sweeter if you get snail mail rather than an email.
Ay.
Anyway, so two young people, and she's got it nailed. She's got it nailed. You want an argument for direct mail? There it is, right there, right? It's a little sweeter when you get it in the mail. How about that? Isn't that great? I loved it so much because it has nothing to do with, the whole episode is a half an hour, and there's this minute in the middle where she defends mail. And I thought, what a great little piece. It took me, I battled with it in case you just try to set your watch by my show. And on a not a similar and unrelated note, Microsoft's Bing chatbot, somebody's figured out a way to make it, when you chat with it, it offers you ads. And you think, well, it's got to be safe because the chatbot is smarter than a human. And yet, au contraire, the chatbot is stuffing pseudo software filled with malware into your computer. And very, very exciting. It's very exciting because we already know that ChatGPT, as an example, well, this is Bing chatbot, Microsoft Bing chatbot. Does anybody use Microsoft Word anymore? I haven't used it since they went away from the 97 menu configuration. I went with OpenOffice. I hate that, every time you put your mouse somewhere, it changes the whole menu. It lets them have an infinite variety of menu and can change it at will. Once, we used to say, what's your favorite word processor? And the answer was the one you know. But nowadays, they change it on you every day. And when I was fighting with my other software this morning, my wife said, well, why are you mad at it? I said, because they changed it. Or you install a new version and it changes your settings, or it remembers your settings, but the software is different. And Scott Adams said they want to make you feel stupid. But anyway, I went with OpenOffice and LibreOffice and almost anything besides Microsoft Word, but apparently, a lot of people still use it, but you don't have to. And she's right there, and she's right. It was interesting, though. I left that in because it was an interesting juxtaposition with the market leader, Microsoft's what everybody uses default word processor, contrasted with direct mail, or with snail mail, as he called it. Anyway, so I thought you'd be interested in that. And I don't use Microsoft Bing either. And the reason is because it always thinks it knows what I'm looking for, and it almost never does. Oh, and I got a note from LinkedIn that something has changed with their software, and that it's affecting the live stream. And you might have noticed yesterday it got cut in half, sort of. I put other links. If that happens, I'll either put up the YouTube version, or I'll put up other pieces, or do something. I'll do something to help you out. I could have probably clipped the video directly and made it a second post, but it didn't seem to have a good spot, so I just referenced it in each of them. You can figure that out if you want. Does anybody watch it? I don't know. Comment if you're on here now, because when I hang up, there's 25 people who've seen the feed or something. If you're on there now, say hi. What city are you from? Where are you watching this from? Are you in Wisconsin? I watched a real interesting video from a guy in LA who's trying to decide if he can stand to stay in California, and he said that he visited Green Bay because he's a huge Packer fan in LA. I don't think he's ever lived in even the Midwest. He visited Milwaukee. He loves Milwaukee. So anyway, if you're in Milwaukee, let me know too, because we should have more Wisconsin meetups, but nobody in Wisconsin wants to drive to a meetup. We'd rather Zoom. Okay, here's an excellent article, and it's by Heather Staff, I believe, down here. I clipped this and I made it too small to read. It's from the UK, why direct mail should be at the forefront, and I really like that word, forefront, of your marketing mix. It's tangible, tactile, and tested. Sometimes I think these articles are just written by ChatGPT, but this one actually has some meat in it. And so I want to thank Heather for that. Excellent. And direct mail marketing manages to cut through the online, cut through the noise, and capture the attention of its audience. I'm going to have to start making these bigger. I don't know what will happen when I do, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to assume the sound is right, and I'm going to make it there. That's so much easier to read. I'll move myself over a little bit. There you go. Royal Mail recent performance analysis found that consumers engage with a mind-blowing 95% of direct mail. And I'm not even sure how you would engage with less than that, because, you open the mailbox, there it is, right? And you have to decide. That's one of the things about direct mail. It doesn't throw itself away. Now, you could take the entire bundle and throw it away, but there's some risk in that. There's still enough important mail, plus things you might be curious about, that you should at least look it over before you throw it away, which pretty much guarantees that you have to touch it, feel it, look at it. You might smell it, you might shake it, like I pointed out yesterday. All of which is engagement at a higher level than digital. When I touch the screen here, touch, I don't get any feel from it at all. Nothing happens. Nothing happens in my brain except I see something, but I'm not scared of it because I know it's not really going after my face. So you have to not only engage, you have to make a decision. Direct mail forces a decision. Okay, so 87% of consumers agree that mail is believable and reliable. And there's another element that we don't talk about too much in that category, which is that it costs something. When you mail me something, I don't know what that puzzle happiness box cost, but I'm guessing it's a couple of bucks. Okay, they didn't just mail that to everybody. They didn't mail it to all my neighbors, right? I don't think so. And every piece of mail you get, has some cost associated with it that's way higher, 10, 20 times more than a digital ad or an email. I wrote an article back in about 1995 as I started, having the ability to do email, and I think it was titled "No Cost, No Care," and I tried to point out that we take a lot of trouble to try to figure out who wants the mail. That's not trivial. We don't just mail it. We don't just dump it in the mail as the perception goes, of the junk mail. and I used to get paid fairly handsomely, hundreds of thousands of dollars by big catalog companies because I could figure out who wanted it more than they could. Okay, probably still can. And we really haven't lost, except when we had chinced data that we didn't get some key variables that other people we competed with had. And in many cases, we were assured we would get, but we didn't, so we went ahead and we lost 3 tests in our history, and all 3 were because we got inferior data. And, it should have been data agnostic because we were looking at the technique. Anyway, so the fact that it has expense means that at the back of your head, you know that there's more care that's gone into it, right? We are more careful. We want you to want it, okay? And it said that campaigns that include mail are 52% more likely to deliver higher return on investment. Not sure. That's too many variables in that sentence. Okay, direct mail is trusted and an effective communication tool that has only become more powerful with the rise of digital marketing. There's all these good things. It's good, make good slides. If the USPS ever wants me to give another talk on why direct mail. Direct mail and any agent, this is for real estate agents, who is serious about winning instructions and growing market share. Winning instructions, I think, are like listings. Should have direct mail leading their prospect strategy. Leading. And I thought that was important also, because I've been saying that, of course, for years. Got that goldenrod is out nowadays. We haven't had our first frost yet, so it's still a little stuffy. But direct mail should not be the tag along that it seems even the USPS promotes it that way. Try a little mail in your mix. Well, the chances of that working are slim to none. And with attribution algorithms, the mail won't get credit even if it does the bulk of the work. So instead, you should start thinking, well, who did we mail and how many of them reacted, right? And if you want to do modeling, you can, rather than letting digital tail wag the dog. So even in tough markets, the best agents never compromise on their printed marketing, as it is proven time and time again to be so effective. Okay, right? So now Heather goes into a little bit of some clues on how to make this work. Inspire your audience to take action. She doesn't talk about the list, and probably because when you're a local real estate agent, you have a defined area, and you know the area. And in the U.S., you will have better houses in some areas than others. Makes sense, right? And so if you're looking for listings, high-end properties, you can use the census tract or carrier route rather for the USPS, and you can buy every door direct in that area. Now you can also get lists like that, and one of the advantages of the lists is that you can, for example, if you're talking about listings, you might want to omit the people that you're already listing. Now, on the other hand, there'd be a good reason not to omit them, because you might be promoting their property or mentioning it, and they would then see that you're working hard on their behalf. Okay, but if you're sending out mail that attempts to get buyers, on the other hand, the other side of the coin for a real estate agent, you may want to say, I'll really work hard for you and I'll get you the lowest price. Well, you don't want that to go to the high-end neighborhoods where you're trying to get listings, because you're telling one group you'll get them the best, lowest price, and the other group you'll get them the highest price. So, you can manipulate that better if you think about the lists, but I can understand why she wouldn't put that in, because in most cases it's fairly local. Here's a really important part: a clear and compelling call to action. And why that's important is because a call to action does more than call to action. A call to action, we always talk about what's in it for me, WIIFM, but we rarely differentiate between the mailer that has an offer and a call to action and doesn't have an offer and a call to action. And what I've seen is just making the, back in the day of that was the only way to respond, but just making the 800 number bigger, or probably the URL bigger, tells the recipient that there's something in it that is an offer. One of the issues I had with Rusty's package was that it didn't have an offer. There was really no call to action. There was a QR code, so there was a response device, but really no call to action. And I mentioned that to him, and I have a call with him in 5 minutes, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. But anyway, so make your call to action big enough that people know that there's something special, which gets to the next point. Promote an offer to capture attention. Okay, 65% of people who engaged with direct mail did so because it included an offer. Okay, time pressure, exclusivity, urgency. Promote a lower than usual sale or letting fee, or limit it to the first 50 recipients, or maybe a free digital property report. There's good suggestions for if you're in real estate, but even if you're not, make it big enough. Okay, so she talks about personalization. You can include listed price. You can include reduction on some property, a specific property. There's a lot of things you can do. Or you can get your typewriter out and write it by hand, because it's sweeter when it comes from someone you might want to know. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. And I hope it looks today like it all went through. So give it a repost and support our fight for direct mail. Join the digital resistance. Bye-bye.